What's up? Welcome back. Hello. Once again with another vlog. I previously made a video that's a little bit different. It was my book video. If you watched that, hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you did and let me know if you wanted to see more. I'm probably gonna make a few more of those videos here and there. But yeah, we're back. I gathered more clips. One small heads up, a lot of the clips in this video are actually going to be from one event, which is It's the Ship, which is like a party cruise that I went on. You'll see. So I'm kind of doing chapters of that so that it doesn't become too much at once. So be on the lookout for that and enjoy. So the first thing I want to show you is actually a little bit of a nerdy hobby thing that I'm super excited about. It's the fact that I bought Lego. So I actually got into building Legos, I think a little over a year ago, and I bought like a Harry Potter set, which I thought was the best and the greatest thing ever. It was so much fun to do and I was instantly completely hooked. So upon me coming here, I wanted to buy some decoration for my house and also just, you know, build more Legos because it's fun. So I bought a set. I bought the Lego Tudor's house. Now Tudor's house, that's basically a old English inspired house. It has multiple levels and it was super fun to build. It was also the biggest set that I've ever built. I think it was like 3,200 plus pieces, which is crazy. And you build like all of these individual levels. And then once the level is done, you can like pop it on there. And it's actually really easy to disassemble. So you can take off the various layers to get a look inside. And there's a bunch of little Easter eggs. Like at some point I built a kitchen, and then in the kitchen there's an oven. And if you open the oven, which you can't do because you've built it shut, but if you were to open the oven, there'd be a sausage in there. Or there's a trash can standing outside. And if you open the trash can, which once again, you would have to take it apart, there would be like a rotten fish in there or something silly like that. And there's a bunch of little Easter eggs like that going around when you make this build, and that makes it super engaging throughout. There's also a bunch of like super complicated things that you're building. Like I built a coffee machine out of like 10 plus mini pieces, and it all came together and it looked super cool. It was super intricate and it was just a super diverse and interesting and engaging build. Quick bonus clip, I previously showed you a different house party, but I threw another one with a different group of friends and we ate pizza and we drank sake. It was super cute. My company threw a large event. It's like the end of the year party. And this year they had a themed party, and the theme was glitter, disco, and everything green. I'm gonna show you my outfit for the night and you're gonna have to guess which one I actually subscribed to. But the party itself was super fun. We went to a large ballroom in some hotel. There was a bunch of free food, there was a whole buffet, there were free drinks. They also had entertainment. They had like an MC and they had live music and it was super fun. It was actually really well done. They also had a raffle, which is basically where just everybody that was there was automatically signed up, and they had like 100 prizes. And I thought it was just, you know, whatever, you get like a voucher or you get like some merchandise from the company itself, but they actually went up in price quite significantly. I think they gave out iPads, they gave out new phones, they gave out holiday vouchers worth like $5,000 or something ridiculous like that. I didn't actually end up winning, so you know, I'll try harder next time. But it was a fun little extra thing to have on there. After all of the madness died down, which was pretty early, some of us actually went out and we went to a karaoke place. Chaos ensued. My friend Rachel came over from Malaysia initially to go to It's the Ship, but she stayed over at mine and we hung out a bunch and we went for bakute lunch first, so that's what this clip is about. Then we met up with my friends Arushi and Xiao, and we actually went out to Clark Key. We met up for dinner and drinks, so we had some pizza and just some drinks, and then we wanted to go out and go to a arcade hall where just a bunch of games to do. Turns out that in that one specific location was actually the official pre-party for the It's the Ship event that Rachel and I were attending. So there were a bunch of people that Rachel already knew from previous years, and that we were gonna meet for the rest of the weekend. So that was super fun. We actually got some free tokens and a free drink as well. So that was a nice little coincidence. We didn't stay too long at this pre-party because it was kind of loud and chaotic, and we'd seen it. And so we went for a pool cafe, which is actually the first time I've done that since coming here, and it was super fun. So I'll definitely come back. After pool, it was quite late, so we went to get some late night snacks. Something that's very different about Singapore compared to the Netherlands is the fact that in the Netherlands, everything just closes so early. Like stores close at like 6 p.m. and like supermarkets close between 8 and 10. And restaurants as well, they close, the latest ones close at like 2 a.m. Here you just have so many 24/7. So it was like, it wasn't that late, but everything seemed to have closed down, but we could still go to, for example, like Don Don Donki and just pick up some food for on the way. And then we walked home. So that was nice, it was fun. Then it was time for It's the Ship. As mentioned, I'm gonna be splitting this up into chapters to kind of show you the storyline of how It's the Ship happened. For some context, It's the Ship is an annual party on a cruise. It lasts about 2 days. I was graciously invited by Rachel about 1 week before the event, so I had 1 week to prepare, both mentally and physically. But it was super fun, super chaotic, and there's just a bunch of things happening. So when we arrived, at first we had to go check in and do all the immigration stuff. Actually went really smooth. Everything flew by. There were no issues whatsoever for any of us. I think between us arriving to the docks and being on the ship took less than an hour, which is record time. The first thing we did is we checked into our room. We had a very snug, cozy, mini room with 4 people, but it was fine. We're not gonna be there too much anyway, except for sleeping. And then we immediately went to the buffet. There was a giant open 24/7 buffet. We went to go check out what kind of food that they had. Also, we were starving, so there you go. Then we went to actually explore the ship a little bit. There's a bunch of random stuff going around. We went by all the pools. At the pool at the top deck, which was nice. We actually saw a giant open space where they did tattoos and you could send postcards and a bunch of other random stuff. There was also a giant casino, maybe for some fun context. So this cruise was obviously hired and rented out for the party that we were on, right? Because they had stages that they had to set up, they had to events and activities, they had to house all of the people that were coming. Now, mind you, that amounts for 80% of the entire cruise's capacity, which meant that the other 20% of the rooms were also booked by just other people. And these other people, I don't know if they were aware of the fact that there was this cruise going on. These were just like a bunch of older people who were there to relax, unwind, to do some gambling, and then suddenly you have like 2,000 of these crazy party goers in all kinds of outfits walking around, and there's music everywhere, and nobody sleeps. So I can't imagine what that must have been like for them. After settling in, we found ourselves facing our first challenge or goal. The thing is, the ticket that we have includes lodging, and then the food and drinks from the buffet. But the food and drinks from the buffet, especially the drinks, is mostly like juice or water or tea or coffee. Not really party drinks, like no alcohol. So one of the first things that we wanted to do was get alcohol. And alcohol you do have to pay for, and you have to pay kind of high prices, like almost Singapore prices, right? So we wanted to see if we could find a more cost-efficient way of going about that. So when we eventually stumbled upon and Just Dance competition, where every so many hours, the highest score in Just Dance would win 48 free cans of beer. So naturally, we decided we have to join in, and this will be our golden ticket to get alcohol for the party. It took a few attempts, but eventually I actually managed to win it. I got a cool ass, like light up trophy or medal, whatever you want to call it, and the grand prize of 48 free cans of beer. When I say party cruise, I'm obviously talking about the fact that there's a bunch of stages. There were like headlining DJs like Alok, who is currently ranked number 2 in the DJ Mag 100, and Timmy Trumpet. They were actually booked for this party cruise, so there was actually some pretty big names there. The parties itself were divided over a few stages, so there were 4-ish stages. You have 4 big stages, and then there was, I don't know if it was just one or there were multiple stages that were moving around. You had like taco trucks or hot dog trucks that were just kind of going around the entire cruise, and there was just music coming from there. But you had the 4 main stages. You had the main stage, which was at the pool top deck, and that's basically where all the headliners played, and that's where they had all the pool parties, and that's basically where all the biggest partying was happening. Then you had the anchor stage, which was all the way at the back of the ship, which was really cool. They had some more variety in terms of music. So it was actually really nice to just kind of pop in and out and see what kind of music they were playing at that time. And also you had the very best views from there because it's all the way at the back. Then you had 2 indoor stages. The first one was Zouk, which was hosted by a famous club from Singapore. which was fun. They had aircon, which was a very big plus because it was very hot on the cruise. And then as well, they did a bunch of theme parties. So that was actually really funny. People were dressed up all the time there, which was really cool. And then the final stage was, I think it's called Silk Road. It was on a completely different floor from everything else. It was more indoor. And then it was a bit more kinky, I want to call it. There was like chains hanging from the ceiling. There were leather equipment things spread throughout the room. There were people dressed up in a very specific kind of way. It gave kind of Berlin techno vibes. Side note, I cannot really show you or let you listen to the music from these clips for copyright reasons. So I'm gonna try my best and find like some EDM tunes and see if it conveys the same kind of vibe. So, you know, enjoy. I'm different now. I'm different. With this being a cruise, there's obviously a bunch of random activities that you can do. Like they had a gym, they had like a specific trail that you can run on that was like 1 kilometer or however much. They also had like a bunch of other random shit. They also had like a bunch of pool slides of various lengths. We didn't actually end up going on any of them, but you know, it looked cool. I actually did some rock climbing at some point, which was fun. You know, being from bouldering, it wasn't super hard, but it was just fun to do something different. Also, there were a bunch of like impromptu random activities happening, just organized by the MCs and the people that were, you know, making the party. So you had at some point, one thing that I remember was a belly flop competition, which extremely overhyped. Everybody was just shouting and yelling and cheering them on, so that was super fun. The final night was a themed party that we were actually participating in, and I say we, and that is me and the 3 other people in my room. The theme itself of the night was heroes and villains, and we actually all got outfits from Naruto, the anime. They have this famous villain group called Akatsuki, and they have these coats that they all wear. So we all wore those kinds of coats and had a coordinated group outfit. And I'll tell you, we had way too much fun with it. We were just walking around the cruise, just aura farming. Every time people would come up and ask to take pictures with us or film us, it was kind of really fun. We also did like a bunch of filming ourselves. We did like the famous Naruto running sequence, which was really funny. And then actually in the end, we actually went to go party while wearing the outfits, which was warm, I'll say. It was very warm. Like it was fun, but it was just way too hot too. It's not a party outfit, I'll say that. Yeah, so that was It's the Ship. It's the Ship is a new experience for me. I've done various parties in Europe, outdoor, indoor, but never something like this. So it was a really cool and unique experience. And you know, I thrive in chaos, so all the random stuff happening all around me, that's literally what I like to do at parties like this anyway. So that was super fun. I would definitely go again if the circumstances were similar. But yeah, maybe be on the lookout for that. Probably next year is the next time that they're doing this. So that is It's the Ship. Then obviously, recurring segment, book update. Obviously, kind of a lot happened since the last video. I'm not really counting the book talk video in terms of updates. I'm just going to tell you how much I've read since last time. It's a lot, man. So the book club, we finished The Women by Kristen Hanna, and we started on a new book. And we started on Yellowface by Rebecca Kwong. So far, we've read about 2/3 of the book, and I really dig the writing style. Rebecca Kwong writes really well. It's really fun. I've also started up a buddy read with my friend Izzy. We have just started, I think this week, we are reading It's Not a Cult by Joey Beatty. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yep, that's how you pronounce it. We have read 20% of the book right now. We're taking it slow because I also want to read my own things at the same time. In terms of my own reading, I finished Jade Legacy since last time, and oh my god, my heart. With that, I have now completed the Green Bone Saga, which absolutely 5 out of 5 series, amazing. Recommend it to everybody. Please go read it if you haven't yet. Now, before getting into my next bigger series, I wanted to do a couple of palate cleansers. There's a couple of standalone books that I didn't have to like get into a world too much. So the first book I been wanting to read for a while, actually, it's called Before the Coffee Gets Cold. It's a Japanese literature book about like a coffee shop where if you drink coffee under certain circumstances, you can go back in time and have a conversation with someone from the past and like do it all over again. Really fun, really short book. It's like 4 short stories of about 30 pages each. So it's like a 100-page book total. I did that in one day. I read it in one whole day. That was really fun. I just, sat myself down and just read the whole thing in one go, and that was really nice. Currently, I have started reading Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson, which is one of his 4 Kickstarter projects that he did, I think, in 2022. This is basically a whimsical fairy tale fantasy story. So far, I really think the writing style is funny. It's a bit more conversational because it's being told as a different character telling you a story. So sometimes they break the fourth wall and just talk to you directly. And it's been, it's a new, unique experience. And the story itself is fun. It's very vivid, very descriptive. And the EPUB itself actually has like pages in between, which is just art, and the art is beautiful. So it really shows you and it takes you along on this fairy tale journey, which I really enjoy. So I'm about 34% through with that. And after that, obviously, I will start reading The Sun Eater, for which I am so excited. I've been watching so many reviews, spoiler-free reviews. I've been watching so many videos of people reading and reviewing the newest book, the final book, the 7th book of the series that just came out last week. And all the reviews are coming in and they're awesome, and I'm so excited to actually start this series myself. This is usually the point of the video where I have a topic that I talk about. It's why did I move to Singapore? Why did I start a vlog? What happened in the first month? Something like that. I didn't really have anything that I wanted to talk about this time. So there you go. That is the end of the video. If you have something that you want me to talk about, let me know. Drop me a comment, send me a message, anything like that. Or if I come up with something in the meantime, then I'll talk about that next time. But today, no. One thing I do want to quickly interject with is this on. For those of you who've known me longer, this shouldn't surprise you, but actually a few weeks before November started, I shaved off my mustache so that I could start fresh for the month of November. I don't know if you are familiar with Movember. I want to link down below some resources regarding Movember. It is a yearly activity that I partake in where I just let my mustache grow out for the month, and then at the end of the month I shave it off, or not. I didn't last year, but this year I probably will. Doing so, you raise awareness for men's health. So I think it's a cool initiative and it's a fun little activity to undertake. So there you go. Check it out in the link down below. Count this as the topic, I guess. Okay, that's it. That's all for me. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time, whenever that will be, whatever it will be. See you then. Bye.